You have just learned that you are an heir. You are told that you have inherited a house, a large sum of money, perhaps even a family business. But as soon as the shock of the news has passed, a heavy truth catches up with you: none of this comes from a legitimate business. These assets, this fortune, were built on activities that are forbidden in Islam: alcohol, gambling, bank interest, or other illicit transactions. So anxiety rises within you, you feel both a natural joy at receiving an inheritance, but also a deep concern. How could you live in a house bought with haram money? How could you feed your family with goods that do not have Allah's blessing? You are faced with a moral dilemma that leaves no one indifferent. What should you do with this inheritance? Refuse it altogether? Take it, telling yourself that you had nothing to do with it? Give it away as charity to get rid of it? This is a question that many Muslims ask themselves today, especially in a world where lawful and unlawful sources of income are often intertwined. Let's take a look at what Islam has to say about this. The question is simple but has serious consequences. Do I have the right to benefit from an inheritance that comes from a haram source, even if I am not responsible for this forbidden activity? And behind this question lies another. Will I be judged for something I did not choose, but only received? In Islam, there is a fundamental rule that must be clearly understood. What is acquired by haram means does not become halal simply because it changes hands. Illicit money remains illicit, whether it is in the hands of the person who earned it or the person who inherited it. But be careful, there is an essential nuance here. You did not participate in the haram activity. You did not sell alcohol, you did not open a casino, you did not manipulate bank interest rates. Therefore, you do not bear the sin of the person who committed it. But you are responsible for what you do with these goods once they are in your hands. The Prophet, may Allah's blessings be upon him, said, "Any body nourished by haram is more deserving of the fire of hell." Authentic hadith reported by At-Tabarani. This hadith warns against willingly consuming illicit goods. Even if you did not produce them, consciously using them puts you in a dangerous situation. Furthermore, Allah says in the Quran, Surah 2 verse 188, "And do not devour one another's wealth by unlawful means." This verse reminds us that illicit wealth corrupts, whether it is obtained directly through injustice or recovered after the fact. Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh, provides important nuances. First, if the inheritance consists solely of haram property. Example, a fortune built on a casino, a bar, or an activity that is clearly prohibited. In this case, it is not permissible to benefit from it. These assets must not be used to your advantage. The solution is to get rid of them by donating them to causes that benefit society, alms, aid to the poor, public infrastructure, but without expecting spiritual reward. For one does not draw closer to Allah with that which is forbidden to him. Secondly, if the goods are mixed, halal and haram. Example, your father had a lawful business, but also some dubious income. Here you must make a sincere effort to distinguish between what is pure and what is impure. Even if you cannot calculate it down to the last penny, Allah knows your intention. Separate the haram part and purify the rest. Thirdly, if you were completely unaware of the origin, you are not sinful for what you did not know. But once you discover the truth, you are responsible before Allah for what you do with it. Fourthly, cases of necessity. If you are in a situation of survival and you have absolutely nothing else, then, as with forbidden food in times of famine, there is temporary tolerance to preserve life. But this exception does not justify keeping illicit goods for comfort or material attachment. In summary, you are not guilty of the sin of the one who accumulated these goods, but you will be responsible for how you use them. You do not always have to reject everything, but knowingly leaving haram in your life without purification would be forbidden. Islam is not a harsh religion. Islam is a fair and balanced religion. It does not condemn you for what you have not done, but it calls you to transparency, honesty, and above all, the purification of your possessions. Allah is pure, and He accepts only what is pure. If you build your home, your business, or your family with questionable money, you risk living with permanent spiritual unease. But if you purify your wealth, Allah will replace it with something better, for nothing given for His sake is lost. So ask yourself this question: do you want to build your life and your future on solid and blessed foundations, or on fragile and forbidden foundations? Share your experience in the comments. Have you ever faced a similar situation? Subscribe to the 3 Minutes with Islam channel to discover other everyday scenarios. And above all, share this video. You could help someone overcome their doubts and get closer to Allah. See you soon for a new video, where every dilemma finds an answer based on the Quran and Sunnah.